Happy New Year! You guys had a good time last night? Wow, this is kind of loud. You guys can hear me, but this is good. It's okay, as long as you guys are okay. You know, this time of the year is really cool. My boy, my second, he's Gabe, and no, he's home. He's home from college. And his birthday lands like right between Christmas and New Year. And so, if you were here last week, I told you about when I took Gabe to Best Buy for his Christmas present. I said, you have anything you want. You have anything you want for Christmas. He didn't pick anything, so I saved a ton of money. So, to celebrate his birthday, I took him out. So we went out to eat, and I wanted to give him something for his birthday. So we're talking, hey Gabe, what do you want for your birthday? He said, oh, I don't know that. I said, I got a great idea. Let's go to Best Buy. Right? Yeah, come on, Dad, there's nothing there. I said, yeah, it's okay, let's take a walk. No, just right there. So we drove up to Best Buy, and I saved a ton of money again. No, he walked around, he didn't see anything he wanted. But then when I was at Best Buy, you know what I noticed? There was a long line of people at the customer service. There was not a whole lot of people buying anything. The cashiers, they were just kind of like this. But at the customer service desk, there was a whole line of people returning things. I'm like, wow, you know what? We waste so much of our time getting online, wrapping gifts and everything else. The three biggest holidays, right? For the three busiest days of shopping, we all know the first one is what? Black Friday. Number 2, Cyber Monday. The third one's the day after Christmas. The day after Christmas, the 26th of Christmas. It's December. That's the third biggest holiday, so the busiest shopping days. Because that's when people go back to these stores and give back the gifts. I can't believe that. What a waste of time. Take a pen, please. Let me show you something. Please read, nice and loud. What does it say? Best year ever. And in order for you to have your best year ever, don't be deceived. That's the first point. If you have your pen, just put down, don't be deceived. If you want the best year for your life, for 2012, don't be fooled. Don't be taken. Please read Ecclesiastes 1:1-2, nice and loud. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem, meaningless, said the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Take your pen. The words of the teacher, underline teacher. He's the smartest person in all of history. Son of David, king in Jerusalem. Those are some of his titles. And here's what he said. This is King Solomon. Here's what he said. Meaningless. Everyone say meaningless. Meaningless. Underline that once. What's the next word again? Twice. That's what the teacher said. And watch this, catch this. He goes, utterly meaningless. Circle utterly. Underline that. Everything is meaningless. Circle everything. Underline meaningless. Let me have your attention, please. We go through all these lines. We go crazy. On Thanksgiving, when we should be with our family, we're getting ready to run out and get the deals. We drive 2-3 hours to a certain mall just to get something. And when we find it, maybe that's not the right gift. It doesn't do much of anything. I'm going to ask you guys a very, very simple question. I'm going to have a list. I got a list of 5 things. Let me ask you, did you receive this? Number 1, clothes. Anyone of you receive some clothes? Raise your hands. All right. I'm giving a little test. Number 2, housewares. Anybody receive some housewares? Okay, 2. Gift baskets. Number 3, gift baskets. Okay. 4th one, picture frames. Picture frame, okay. Jeffrey, you're not sure what's a picture frame. That's cool. It's okay. Number 5, did anyone receive jewelry? Anybody? Okay, a couple of you. Okay, watch this now. Those are the top 5 recycle gifts. If you receive any of those, you have a high chance that this was recycled. Now I'm going to give you the other part of it. Where do you get it? Who do you get it from? Did you get this from a coworker? If the list I gave you, if it came from a coworker, the percentage is 18%. You got to recycle. Katie's laughing. She's recycled some stuff already. So, no pictures. So if you got a gift basket If you got a gift basket or a houseware from a coworker, chances are 18% was recycled. Number two, 14% recycle these gifts to people like postal workers, bus drivers, or certain people that have provided a service to you. And so you got this thing from a friend, and said, oh, I don't want this. What am I going to do with this? I'll give it to the postman. That's what they do. So that's number two, you get recycled. So if you're a postman, or you work for some type of service industry, and you got a gift basket, chances are I can't just recycle that gift to you. Number three, last one. Did you get that from a church friend? Yes, did you? Okay, you're still laughing. Why are you laughing? Did you get this particular gift? So if you got some houseware, if you got maybe a picture frame from a church friend, chances are 12% that this would recycle. Can you imagine that? And here's what King Solomon says. Utterly meaningless. This is crazy. Meaningless, meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Utterly. Don't be deceived. That's the whole thing. That's the first point. If you want the best year of 2012 for yourself, the first thing is do not be deceived. These are certain things. And we spend a lot of time chasing certain things, and we find that we recycle these things. And you really be truthful with me right now, and you observe, and you look around, and you see all these lines and thousands of people, and they go crazy, getting certain gadgets and getting certain stuff. So you say, is that worth something? And then you find out you're going to recycle that, and you get, no, it's something that you wait online, now you have to give it to somebody else that you don't want. And that person doesn't want it as well too. So it's utterly meaningless. So how do we get 2012 to be better? Very, very simple. Take your pen. Everyone say, what do you say on this program? What do you say? Happy New Year. But I got a question for you. Everyone say Happy New Year again.
Happy New Year.
Take a look. I got this. Seriously. For those of you. December 31st. I didn't print any more out. From Banana Republic, we wish you a wonderful new year. It says, Happy New Year. There are 3 pages. I printed out the first page. Coupons afterwards. They're trying to get me back there again. I'm not going to be fooled. What is this? This is crazy. I'm not going to do any of that. Oops. See, that's it. I'm not going to do any stuff. So, even Banana Republic, Kohl's, Target, or whatever stores you go to that you frequent to, they send you Happy New Year. And they give you coupons, and they try to get you back again. I got a very, very simple question for each and every one of you. Serious question now. We hear this all the time during this time. I must have said it to you today, and you must have said it to me today. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Very simple question. But how? 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 Everyone say how.
How?
Don't you want to know? Don't you want to know how? Don't you want to know how can I be happy? How can this year be new? How? Please read the verse. Nice and loud. John 15:5. I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Everyone's going to this. Watch. Everyone go, wow. This is so cool. No, this is not the verse just for this coming message series. This is the verse for you for this year. This is the verse for me for this year. I pray that this verse will stay with you for this entire year. Let this year be a year filled with this part. Let's read it again, please. John 15:5. I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me, and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Now watch this. This is Jesus speaking. And Jesus goes, I am the vine, and you are the branches. He's giving us a little illustration, a little metaphor. He goes, if a man or woman of a person, the action is remains. Everyone say remains. Remains. Circle remains. Underline in me. And I in him. That person, that man, that woman will bear much fruit. Underline bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. And let me have your attention, please. So this is it. This is the verse that I pray that you can hold on to each and every day that you do have for 2012. And this is a promise not from me. This is a promise from Jesus. He goes like this: if you remain in me, in Christ, best year ever. Case closed. That's what it says here. No, it does not say that. It does not say best year ever. I said, yes, it does say this is the best year ever. Watch this. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. That's the best year ever to me. That's how I look at it. Bear much fruit means you'll be fruitful. You'll be able to look back into your days in 2012 and say, wow, had a good year. Really good year. What's the action? The action is you remain. It's a commitment. That's what it comes down to. It's making this commitment that I'm going to remain in Jesus Christ. So what does that mean? How does this whole thing work? Very, very simple. You know what I did? Everyone say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So here's what I did. I said, Lord, you gave me this verse. You gave me this verse to share with our people. And said, this is the verse for this year. How does it work? How does it work for a good year? How does it work that it's going to be a Happy New Year? So here's what I did. I took Happy New Year, and each word, I said to myself, how does this relate to this verse? How could this year be happy? So then I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to start with the year first. And then I'm going to go to new. I'm going to do happy. I'll break it down for you so you can see it. Okay? Are we all there? Let's go. First one, year. Recognize your time is precious. That's the first thing. Recognize your time is precious. If you want a happy new year, we're going to start with the word year. Please read Psalms 139. Nice and loud. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. Okay, this is really cool. This has to do with the year. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. All the days, circle the word days. That's your life. That's your time on earth. Ordained for me, underline ordained for me. And the word me, you can put the name right there. You can personalize this. All the days ordained for Minister Kenny, all the days ordained for Emily were written in your book before one of them came to be. Let me have attention, please. I got a very, very serious question for you. How many days in a year?
365. 365, 365.
Bing, bing, bing. Van, you got it right. Close. Everybody else. But 365 days, let's go with that. There are 365 days in a year. A very, very serious question for you. Happy New Year. Everyone say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How do you know, serious question, how do you know of those 365 days, how many of them are yours? How many of them are yours? How do you know you're going to make it through all 365? How do you know you have all 365? You guys get me? There was this woman, and she was married to this man. His name is Chris Strapp. I don't know if you know. He's an ex-NFL football player. He played for a number of teams. He's married to his wife for 1 month. She died recently. She died after 1 month. She had cancer, lung cancer. He knew it. She knew it. They went ahead. And after 1 month of marriage, she passed. And he said in her eulogy, he goes, she was ferocious. That was the word that he used to describe his wife that he's married to for only 1 month. He goes, strong is not even the close word about her. The word strong, determination is nothing. It's shallow. It's not enough to describe about how she loved life. She loved life. She was ferocious. That was the word that he used, the husband used to describe his wife. She was so ferocious, so forceful about her love for life. That's what he is. He was so inspired by her courage. How do you know how many days you have upcoming? How do you know you have the full 365? You don't know, and I don't know. My friend James, I've shared before, he had cancer as well too last year. He discovered it last year on Thanksgiving. From that day forward, he did not know how many days he had left. Not at all. You did not know can he make it or not. If you have health today, praise the Lord. Do you know you have it tomorrow? Do you know you have it tomorrow? So Happy New Year starts with the year. Don't take your time for granted. The top 10 searches in Yahoo, first one, number one. Here's what people search for when they go to Yahoo website. They put everything together for the past year of 2011. The top number one search is iPhone. People were talking about iPhone. They want more information. Number two, very simple, Casey Anthony. Okay, we move on. Number three, Kim Kardashian. What does she do? I still don't understand what does she do. I have no idea. I have no idea. Is she a singer? Is she an actress? I have no idea why she's like top 3 up there searches. Doesn't matter. Number 4, Katy Perry. Number 5, Jennifer Lopez. Number 6, Lindsay Lohan. These are the searches, the top searches. Millions of hits, millions of people. My Lord. Number 7, American Idol. Number 8, Jennifer Aniston. Number 9, the Japan earthquake. Number 10, Osama bin Laden. How much time do you have? You don't know. But here's what God says. You are wonderfully made. You are wonderfully created. The days are ordained for you. God knows how much time you have. We don't know. And that, I believe, is God's wisdom. If God were to tell me, Kenny, you will live until the end of this year, will I live my life a certain way? Will I party hard and say, yeah, until the last day? What would I do? I think if we know when's our last day, that's scary as well too. God in His wisdom does not tell us when's our last day. He knows, but He says, you treasure it. You don't know. So when you don't know, you treasure it. So treasure your time, whatever it may be. You want a great new year, you want a happy new year. Number 1, treasure your time, treasure your life. Number 2, this is the new part. Make a commitment to God. This is the new part. Make a commitment to God. Why do I say this? Please read Ecclesiastes 12:13, nice and loud. Now all has been heard. Here's the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandments. For this is a whole duty of man. And this is so cool. This is so cool. Watch this. Now all has been heard. In the line, all has been heard. This is King Solomon speaking again. And he goes, here is the conclusion. Circle the word conclusion. I love it when there's a conclusion. I get the answer. This is so easy to follow. Here's the conclusion of the matter. Fear God. Circle fear God. And the second thing is keep His commandments. Circle that as well too. And he goes, so this is the whole duty of man or woman. Let me have your attention, please. That's number 2. Number 2, you want a happy new year. What's the new part about it? Is that you make a commitment. Not a new year resolution. There's a difference. There's a difference between making a commitment to God and making a new year resolution. When you make a new year resolution, you say, yes, I'm going to, maybe do something about my health. I'm going to eat better. Whatever it may be. I may want to go to school. I want to improve myself in certain areas. Or break. And then when you fall the next day, doesn't matter. No one holds you accountable. It doesn't matter. You could break it, you could make it. And then when you make it, you go, yay. And then when you break it, sometimes you feel kind of down. The best thing that you can do that's new, catch this, is to make a commitment. I won't tell you what it is going to be. It's to make a commitment to God. And you're going to say, why? Why should I make a commitment to God? Because there's power behind it. Let me show you the power that's behind it. It's like you're driving. It's like you're driving. When you don't make a commitment to God, and you're just driving, and you're on the road, you can go anywhere you want. It's like, I could go as fast as I want, I could go as slow as I want. And I could veer off on this lane if I want to do, I could veer off on that lane if I want to do. That's similar to like when you want to make a resolution for yourself. The difference between making a commitment to God is like this. You stay on that path. See, when you make a commitment to God, God keeps you, and you keep yourself in this path. And you say, this is the road. And there's safety. There's safety behind. There's no chaos in your life. Are you guys getting me? You don't allow chaos. You don't allow confusion. You don't allow accidents and details to come into your life. When you make a commitment to God, it keeps you on that path. And a car comes into your life to work in your life. How does that work? How does that work? I'll give you a very, very simple illustration. Last night I had dinner with my family, and after that I said goodbye to them. I wished them all a Happy New Year. I said, where are you going, Dad? I invited them to come. Hey, you guys want to go to New York? I said, what are you going to do in New York? Do you guys want to go to a service? Service? Oh, we got things to do. No, that's not boys. I understand totally. How about bubble tea? I'll get you guys bubble tea while we're out in New York because they love bubble tea. New York's bubble tea is much better. No, it's okay, Dad. You go. So I was invited by a friend. I attended a service. It's called a night watch service. This is a true story. I always get a parking space when I come into New York City. For the last 6, 7 years that I've served here, I always get a parking space, no doubt, whatsoever. And the service starts at 11. So I started driving, and I gave myself at least 45 minutes to look for a parking space. At least 45 minutes. I was around the neighborhood where the church is, and about 10:15, I said, I'm going to be early, I'm going to be cool, I'm going to attend the service. And I started looking for a space. For the next 45 minutes, this is a true story, the Lord knows, no space. 45 minutes circling. No space, and no one's moving their car, and I started to register. They're not moving the car, Kenny. They're going to all these, whatever it is, they're going to stay in that spot until 12. I was going all over. I was prepared to walk 10, 12 blocks easily, no problem. I couldn't find anything. Not at all. And then at 11 o'clock, I said, oh, I am so late. I drove, and I parked right in front of the church. Double park. First time ever. Double park right there. I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to double park right here. And I left the car right there. If I get ticketed, I said, that's fine. If I get towed, I said, that's fine. That's perfectly cool. And I think that was part of that commitment I had to make with the Lord. I said, I want to do this. I want to be at the service. And there's a sense that commitment that I want to see this through. I could have easily just driven away. I could have easily just said, no, it's fine. Lord, you didn't allow me to do this. I could easily use all kinds of excuses. I left it. You want to know something really funny? No idea what to expect. I walked into this church. I said, wow, what an experience. As I'm sitting through this whole thing, I was just so uplifted. It was just totally amazing. I'll tell you how amazing it was. I sat in the last row. There were about 5 people on my right. And there were about maybe 3 people on my left. There were about maybe at most a couple of latecomers. There were about 10 of us, with the preacher and the organist. So maybe there were 12 of us. It was so cool. It was so cool. And then I get a chance to talk to the pastor at the end of the service. And then someone told me, wow, we had a big crowd today. I said, wow. Yes, they had a big crowd today. That's what they said. They were so encouraged. I said, really? I said, yes. We normally don't get that many people. So I'm thinking, how many do you get? I was just thinking. And she goes, yeah, we normally get about like maybe 6 or 7 or 8. But today we got a crowd, we got 12 about. That's like 50% increase. And I said, I'm one of them, right? It was so cool. It was so cool. Why do I share this with you? This group of 6, 7, 8 people made a commitment to the Lord. And you should feel the joy that they had. You should feel the joy that they had in praising the Lord. On New Year's Eve, the right place for them was in the Lord's house. And you would say they are out of their mind. And I would agree with you up to a certain point. They are out of the mind for the Lord. Yeah, that's a good thing. It was not about, well, who's here and who's not here. There was nothing about that. Was there pity in the room? Not at all. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. They were smiling. They were so generous. Their spirit was so uplifted. Just 6, 7, 8 of them. That's a commitment. I bet you they made that commitment to the Lord. That's not a New Year's resolution. You don't get the New Year's resolution from that. You guys get me? It's not about New Year's resolution. It's about you, for 2012, make a commitment to God. You know, you're going to ask me this question, and I'll end with this. Minister Kenny, I understand time, you don't know. I understand it's about making a commitment. But what am I making a commitment to? What am I making a commitment to? Some of you are making a commitment to maybe school. I want to better myself. I want to go back to school. So it's about academics. It's about knowledge. That's great. That's good stuff. Very good stuff. Some of you are concerned, I'm going to make a commitment to health. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to start to exercise. I'm going to quit smoking, quit drinking. I'm going to go sleep earlier. That's great stuff. That's really good stuff. Physical health. Any more? Well, maybe I want to join a group, a volleyball team, a basketball team, or something. I'm going to pick up a hobby, learn the guitar, or the piano, or drums. And that's great stuff, too. That's great stuff. When you join a group. Is there something more? I say yes. May I have the lights, please? Look at the sound, please. Please go back, please.
On the 5, the malnutrition rate is up to 50%.
When seeing that person, we're like, it's only a question of how you like to die.
This was compiled, and it's the top 10 news story. I was just looking back at 2011. You may agree with this list, or maybe you might disagree. You may agree with this list, or you might disagree with this list. It doesn't matter. You can put in your own list. I got to ask you guys a very, very simple question. As you look through all these there, Occupy Wall Street, the Arab Spring uprising, all amazing stuff that happens. It might impact you directly or indirectly. It might inspire you, it may not inspire you, you might be bored by it. It might impact you indirectly because your 401k tied, your bonds or your stocks, your financial situation is definitely tied to the world's economy. But you may not feel it right away. For some of you, it does not even bother me. I'm down there already. It does not bother me one bit. The royal wedding, God bless them, does not do anything for me. Or maybe inspire you. I don't know what it does for you. Here's a question I have for you. If you look back into 2011, what is your top 10? I'm going to ask you. If you look back into 2011, and the Lord has allowed you to live out 365 days in the last year, what are your biggest moments? Top 10. Put them down. Are you able to put them down? Some of you might say, yes, I did this, I did this, I did that. Some major milestones. Is that enough? Did that bring happiness to you? And you say, yes, it brought happiness to me. And I would say, how do you sustain that? And if that brought happiness to you, are you happy? And if you were to have the same year in 2012 as you had in 2011, doing the same things, would that bring you happiness again? What if you did it in 2011? Are you guys getting me? If you repeat the same actions for 2011, will you be happy in 2012? Or is there something else that we're missing? And what does God have to say about this? What does the good book have to say about this? Take your pen. Let's wrap. If you want to be happy, it's very, very simple. Please look up. Don't put anything there. Here's what I want to say. If you want to be happy, just think about it for a moment. Just think. If you want to be happy, I believe it's very simple. You want to be loved, and you want to love. True? Yeah, I think so. You want to be loved, and you want to love. I think that's happiness. Yeah, I think so. Let's put that down. If you want to be happy, commit to love. Please read Matthew 22, 37. Nice and loud, please. Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. Please read the one that's prior to this, and number 2, Ecclesiastes 12, 13. Nice and loud, please. Now all has been heard. Here's the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Did you guys get that? What did King Solomon say, the great teacher? What did he say? When he says fear God means be in awe of God. Not like, I'm so scared. God's going to strike me. No. That word fear does not mean that way. It's reverence, it's honor, it's respect, it's in awe. So the first thing is to love God. And then here's what King Solomon says, love God and keep all His commandments. He's got it. He says that's what we're supposed to do. And when we're able to do this, here's what Jesus says. Jesus goes like this. Jesus says, take your pen. In Matthew 22, 37, Jesus replied, goes, love, circle the word love. And everyone say love? Love. But there are 3 areas. There are 3 areas. First, love the Lord your God, underline God, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. The second is, this is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Circle the word love again. Everyone say love? Love. There are 2 other areas. First is your neighbor, underline neighbor. Next is yourself. And he goes, all the law and prophets hang on these 2 commandments. Let me have your attention, please. So here's what we got. King Solomon goes like this. Everything is meaningless. Everything doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. All these things that we go after. And we truly want happiness and a happy new year. King Solomon goes like this. Revere God, honor God, place Him high. Make this commitment to God. And then King Solomon tells us, make this commitment to God to keep His commandments. And we're going to say, which commandments are we going to keep? And that's exactly what these people said to Jesus. Jesus, what should we do? How should we live out this life? And Jesus says this. It's very, very simple. The greatest commandment is to love God, love your neighbor, and love yourself. So Jesus took the whole book, the entire Bible that you have, that I carry, that we read every day. Yes? The entire Bible that you have and I have, and Jesus compressed the whole thing. So you don't have to read like 2,000 pages now. He compressed the whole thing. He gives you the summary. He goes, love God, love people, love yourself. Here's the question. If you didn't have a really good 2011, and you want a really best year ever for 2012, then those are the 3 areas. Look back into your life. Love God, one area. Love people, love yourself. And I bet you, just like myself, here's that curve. Love myself, I did a lot of that. From 1 to 10, 10. 2011, I love myself a lot, 10. Love people, 5. Love God, 2. So we got the whole thing in balance. Would you agree with me? Would you agree with me? So here's what we do. What's the best year ever? What are we making a commitment to? We're making a commitment to love for 2012. Whatever days that you have left, catch this. Because we don't know. We want a happy new year, we don't know. We don't know how much time we have. That's the year part. We want something new, then make a commitment to God. Because God's power will keep you on that path. But what we make a commitment to, we're making a commitment to love God, to love people, to love yourself. So every time when you're unhappy for 2012, it's very simple. We're not loving one of those 3 areas. Every time, catch this, every time you are not having a good year, it's because that's off. Something is off. You're not loving others. It didn't say that family. We all love our families. We feel this obligation to love our families. We should love our families. That's the right thing to do. We should. So I do. And we stop right there. But it says love your neighbors. Your neighbor is everyone that comes in contact with you. Your neighbor is yourself. Giving that love to the world. All those top 10 stories, they might touch you, may not touch you. The greatest thing that touches you is that each and every day you make a commitment to love somebody. And then over the period of time, if Lord willing, a year later, you look back and you're able to feel each day, because you don't know when you go, but you're able to feel each day loving God, loving people, loving yourself in a good way. That's a good year. You know all these phones that we have? I showed it to you last week. You know all these gadgets that we have to connect, Facebook and everything else. What's the purpose? What's the purpose? One simple thing. To connect you with people. Facebook is cool. Email is cool. Google is cool. iPhone is cool. All these are cool stuff. But they're for one purpose. So that you can pick up the phone, send out a text, and say, I love you. That's it. You agree with me? Pick up the phone, do a text, type out an email, I love you. So I picked up the phone last night, I called a friend, we're just chatting for like maybe 1 minute. And the friend tells me, I adore you, Kenny. I love you. And I said, I love you too. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so cool? What a great way to start a year. Feel that every day. And you look back, that's a good year. So let us pray.